Ever wondered how to cook mapo tofu at home? Let's start by delving into the intriguing history of this delicious dish. Mapo tofu, or mapo du fu, is a fiery Sichuan classic that has been warming palates and hearts for over a century. Its name translates to pockmarked old woman's tofu, named after the widow who supposedly invented the dish. The story goes that the widow, living near a busy marketplace, would cook this spicy tofu dish for the traders passing by. Her creation quickly became a staple in Sichuan cuisine, renowned for its bold flavors of fermented black beans, Sichuan peppercorns, and fiery red chili oil. Today, this humble dish has traveled far beyond its Sichuan roots, captivating taste buds around the globe. From the bustling streets of Beijing to the chic eateries of New York, mapo tofu has made its mark on the global culinary map. Now, let's dive into the actual cooking process. First things first, gather all the necessary ingredients. For our mapo tofu, we'll need a few key components. Soft tofu is a must, as its delicate texture pairs perfectly with our robust sauce. Ground pork brings a hearty meatiness to the dish, but if you're vegetarian, feel free to substitute with mushrooms or even firm tofu. Next up, doubanjiang, a spicy fermented bean paste that's the heart and soul of this dish. It's what gives mapo tofu its unique, savory kick. If you can't find it, a blend of miso and chili bean paste can fill in. And lastly, we have the Sichuan peppercorns. These little guys will add that signature numbing sensation. If they're too intense for your palate, you can tone it down with some black pepper. Remember, cooking is all about personalizing to your taste, so don't be afraid to switch things up. With all ingredients ready, you're set to start cooking. The first step in the cooking process is preparing the tofu. This may seem simple, but it's a crucial stage to ensure our tofu absorbs all the robust flavors from our mapo sauce. So, let's get to it. Start by cutting the tofu into bite-sized cubes. You want these pieces to be uniform in size to ensure even cooking and flavor absorption. Next, we're going to blanch the tofu. This is a process where you briefly cook the tofu in boiling water, then immediately cool it using cold water. Not only does this process help to firm up the tofu, but it also removes any excess soy taste, allowing the tofu to absorb more flavors from our sauce. Remember, tofu is like a sponge. It's really good at soaking up flavors, so don't skip this step. It's the secret to getting that rich, deep flavor in every bite. With the tofu prepared, you're ready to move on to the next step. Now, on to the heart of mapo tofu, the sauce. The secret to a mouth-watering mapo tofu lies in its sauce. To begin with, let's cook the ground pork. In a hot pan, stir-fry the pork until it's browned and the fat has been rendered. This process gives the pork a rich, deep flavor that will permeate the sauce. Next, it's time to add doubanjiang. This fermented bean paste is the backbone of our sauce, providing a complex, salty, and spicy flavor that makes mapo tofu so distinctive. Stir it in with the pork, allowing it to cook slowly and meld with the meat. Now, patience is key. The sauce needs to simmer gently, allowing the flavors to develop and deepen. This isn't a step that can be rushed. Giving the sauce time to cook will result in a more flavorful and satisfying dish. Now that the sauce is ready, it's time to combine it with the tofu. The final step in the cooking process is combining the tofu and sauce. Now, this part is crucial. You want to treat your tofu with the utmost care. Picture the tofu as a delicate flower. It needs your gentle touch. Start by carefully adding the tofu into the simmering sauce. Now take your spatula and ever so gently stir the tofu into the sauce. You want to make sure every piece of tofu is smothered in that delicious sauce. But remember, be gentle. We don't want our tofu breaking apart. Next, let it all simmer together. This is when the magic happens. The tofu absorbs the flavors of the sauce, and the sauce takes on the subtle creaminess of the tofu. It's a beautiful culinary dance. Let it simmer for a few minutes, allowing the flavors to mingle and develop. And there you have it, your home-cooked mapo tofu. Cooking mapo tofu at home isn't as daunting as it may seem, right? We've walked through the history of this delightful dish, gathered the necessary ingredients, and prepared the tofu. We even created a delicious sauce that brings all the flavors together. But the magic truly happens when you combine the tofu and sauce, creating a dish that's both comforting and packed with flavor. Why not give it a try? Bring the wonderful taste of mapo tofu to your own kitchen. Once you've mastered this recipe, you can start experimenting with your own touches. Add more chili for a bit of a kick, or perhaps a dash of sesame oil for a nutty aroma. And remember, this dish pairs wonderfully with rice or noodles to make a complete and satisfying meal. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more recipes, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more cooking videos. Bon appétit!